Hey everybody, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Bedrich here in Charlotte, North Carolina with your Ski Southeast forecast. And hey, did I tell you it was going to be a crazy pattern? I mean, this has been amazing. This is the best start to the season in the Southeast in December, and I think since about 2010. Somebody could correct me on that, but looking back, we haven't had this kind of snow and cold this early in quite some time. And the good news is, it's going to stay good. So as I mentioned, this was going to be a 2-week period. We got 1 week out of the way. Here's the next week. Let's get right to what's happening. We've got another in a series of Alberta clippers. There's actually 2 of these coming down in consecutive days, Tuesday and then again on Wednesday into Thursday. The first cold front comes down here on Tuesday into Wednesday. 2 things. It's going to bring really cold air. So if you're going skiing or you're heading to the mountains, or all you workers at the resorts, bundle up. Wind chills are going to be well below 0, and it's going to be howling wind. So snowmakers, there will be natural snow, but man, the snow is going to be blowing all over the place. You can see the connection we have to the Great Lakes. We talk about this often. This is what we essentially have is long-range lake effect snow. We get this perfect fetch where we pick up moisture from multiple lakes. In this case, we're picking up moisture from Lake Superior and Lake Michigan for the Carolinas, and then for the Virginias, Maryland, we're getting basically a connection off of Lake Huron and Lake Erie. That's a really good setup. Now, if it would last that way, this would be a prolonged northwest flow event. But the problem is, it doesn't last very long because there's another surge coming down. This little quick-moving shortwave is going to come in. It looks like Wednesday night into Thursday. You can see this next clipper system. In fact, I can't even keep up with it on the maps, but that clipper system moves through really quickly on Thursday. So there'll be 2 surges of natural snow. Both of these will have plenty of cold air with it. So great snowmaking and 2 shots of snowmaking, natural snow as well as the snowmaking. So I'm thinking the first shot, probably 1 to 3 for North Carolina, 2 maybe to 6. It's going to vary up in the Virginias and Maryland area. And then the second surge, probably in the 2 to 4 range, mainly for West Virginia and Maryland. But, you know, some good snow. It'll be powdery snow. That's the good thing, too. Because the air is so cold, it's going to be fluffed up snow. And speaking of that cold air, let's talk about these below freezing temperatures. I mean, this is a pretty good setup. Below freezing, snowmaking kicks in tomorrow. 24-hour snowmaking all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, pretty much all day Thursday. It looks like there might be some lulls in the middle of the day, but there's a nice period here, I think, from Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday and Thursday of ideal snowmaking. How much natural snow are we talking about? Well, let's widen this out, and I kind of show you what I'm talking about here. I kind of had this paused here on North Carolina, but I'll stop it there real quickly. I think that's a 1 to 3 inch total. We'll go up to West Virginia and Maryland. You could see Pocahontas County coming in there with that 2 to 6, I would say 3 to 6, up towards Wisp. Now, not too much in Virginia. This isn't going to make it down. Even Winter Place should get in on some of this. And we'll go out a little bit further here. I want to focus in on North Carolina. Let me pause this all the way. We'll go all the way through Thursday, which is as long as the model run goes. You see that second surge comes into West Virginia more so than the Virginias. So when I go up here into Western Maryland and Virginia, now you're getting up to 7, 8. Now this is combined of both clippers. So maybe a foot out of 2 of them, not out of the question because of the fluffiness of the snow. I certainly think that's possible. I think it's more 2 to 4 down in North Carolina, Tennessee, but for West Virginia and Maryland, this could be at 8 to 12 foot, or 8 to 12 inch. 12 foot would be great. 8 to 12 inch snowfall with the 2 combined. And again, it could get fluffed up. The model's probably underestimating the amount of fluffiness we're going to have, maybe 20, 25 to 1 liquid to snowfall ratio. So when you look at the forecast here for the Southeast, you could see ideal snowmaking Tuesday through Friday, 2 natural snow chances, really Tuesday and then again Thursday, Friday. There's a small chance, even though it doesn't look really cold, Saturday, Sunday, especially for the Virginias up towards West Virginia, there might be a 3rd shot, but I'm not sold on it just yet. I'll show you what that looks like in the long range, but I'm not sold on that yet. But you see 4 consecutive days of snowmaking and 3 separate shots of snow from Mother Nature. So great, great setup. So let's go to the long range, because now I'm starting to get the questions, what's it going to look like by Christmas? Is it going to lock in? Here's the thing. It's going to be cold enough through the beginning of next week, so snowmakers, make as much as you can, because there is a little bit of a thaw coming right before Christmas. You see the dip in the jet stream here. Really good cold pattern through Friday. You see a couple of these little ripples move through. Watch this next one come. This is one I'm not really sold on. This is Saturday into Sunday. It doesn't look like much, but there's a little ripple right there that tries to swing through the Southeast. So this might be the surprise 4th surge of snow and cold, but it doesn't look very short-lived because once we get to Monday, the one thing you notice is in the jet stream pattern, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. We're not getting that persistent trough, but this is why it's not a bad thing. That cold air, it's still up there. The reservoir's reloading, but there's a little bit of a hint of zonal flow developing here, which typically means a little bit of a warm-up. And as I go into next week, is the week before Christmas. This is next Thursday. It clearly looks like a west to east flow. This isn't super warm. This isn't the blowtorch with a big ridge, and we got southwest flow. This is more west to east, which is a little bit more tolerable. So it's not a huge thaw, but it looks a little warm. Now, there are signs that this cold air is going to start developing. If you notice, there's another little dip developing, another piece of cold air. This could be coming down right in time for the weekend of Christmas. We're talking the 23rd, 24th, 25th. Not sold on that yet. Let's get a little excited, though. I'll show you the European model. This is the European model. We'll show you the wave coming tomorrow. Here's the one on Thursday. You'll see it right there. That's kind of interesting. I don't think we'll see that east of the mountains, but hopefully we'll get surprised. We'll go towards the weekend. Here's that system I talked about going into the weekend. You see that little thing? It doesn't look like much, but the Europeans spitting out a little bit of snow up there in West Virginia. I'm not sold on that one. I wouldn't get too excited about that. And then you notice going into the weekend, there's a little wave that moves through. That looks pretty warm on Monday, but a little bit of snow being spit out by the model. I'm not totally sold on this one yet either because that would be short-lived. And then we go into next week. This is anytime I see a lot of rain wrapped around snow, that's really questionable setup there. Maybe a nice wet snow. That's one of those situations where we could get natural snow, but the snowmaking conditions would be horrible for man-made stuff. And then certainly next week you see things kind of warm out. That's high pressure building in. Big old ridge right here. And this doesn't look super cold. That looks pretty mild. It doesn't look super warm either. And then you see the warm front ahead of the next cold front. Probably going to be a warm front right in here. So a little bit of a warm up late next week going into Christmas. But that's why making snow now is huge. So I'll leave you with this. Great conditions. We won't focus on that long range. I'll look more at that in the next couple of days. But just know we've got several more chances of snow this week and cold enough. So make the snow as much as possible because if that warm up occurs next week, we want a nice thick base to kind of get us through that hump the middle of next week. And then I'm fairly confident we're going to see a cool down sometime around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or the day after. Since it's still 2 weeks out, the timing could be plus or minus 2 days. So I don't want to get too specific now, but trust me, there is a warm-up coming and another cool down. The timing yet to be determined. Have a great week of skiing. If you're going up there, please, man, just keep posting pictures. I love seeing all that powder. Let me know how the conditions are. I'll post an update in the middle of this week. And as always, think snow.